You are listening to CrossTalk, a safe place to discuss addiction, recovery, harm reduction, and everything in between. Support for this podcast comes from the Kentucky Opioid Response Effort and Advocates of Recovery. Content and production by the team at CenterPoint Recovery Community Center. Now, buckle up and get ready for the show.
Welcome everyone to CrossTalk Recovery, the recovery podcast that supports all forms of recovery. I'm Matt Lewis, and I'm here with
Matt Hobby, Dylan Klinghammer,
Connor Gates.
Welcome, guys. All CenterPoint guys here, the guys that work at CenterPoint, guys that came through the program behind me. Matt's been on before, one of my sponsees. They wanted to come on today to talk a little bit about, CenterPoint, what's going on in the holidays, and all the things that happened there. I remember when I was there over Christmas when I went to CenterPoint, and Christmas was one of my least favorite holidays because I was always broke, looking for a fix, and presents. Everybody wants a present. So it was never a good time of year for me. And then we were on lockdown the whole time, so couldn't go anywhere, and you had to walk around the building looking at 100 Christmas trees all day, every day, so that just made me even more miserable. I actually thought about leaving because of Christmas trees. That's how upset it was to me.
Good old COVID.
And now it's not as bad. You go in there, and it's kind of nice to see all the trees. And I know, and the guys can leave, so they're not trapped seeing the trees all the time. But so that was my experience with it. I know that, but also it was awesome because they buy presents for all the guys. Max and people, they dressed up as Santa Claus, and everybody got a gift, and we had stockings outside our doors with stuff we needed, like lighters and quarters to use the phone, and socks, and
the essentials.
I don't know if they still do that, but it ended up being cool. It was just like the trees were set up 2 months before Christmas, But so you guys came on here to kind of talk about that, and but since, Dylan and Connor, it's your first time on here, man, why don't you guys take turns sharing a little bit about, your pathway through recovery and how you ended up working at CenterPoint.
All right. You want me to start it off?
Go for it.
All right. My name is Connor Gates. I am originally from Christian County, Kentucky, and I landed in recovery. Sorry, I got to mess with my headphones, but I landed in recovery around 2021, right at the end. So I came in right at the start of when the Christmas festivities started. And unfortunately, I was coming, straight from jail. All of my problems have derived from the disease that I have, that we all have there at CenterPoint, which is alcoholism. But I arrived and I saw the Christmas trees. I saw everything. And, man, instantly I became comfortable. Everybody there, the staff is amazing, man. Max Grantham has, set a standard there, and that standard is followed every day by each and every person that works there. But I got there, and a fella did my intake by the name of Ian Harris, and me and him have known each other quite a long time now, and I instantly felt at home. So anything that went on, past that and for that was simply because of how I felt when I got there. Yeah. And it's pretty amazing how, the Christmas that they do there, that they give away and that we provide for the guys is really from the heart. And anything that genuine, I wanted to be a part of. So.
Yeah. And so when you graduated, you peer mentored for a little bit, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I did 6 months in the peer mentor office, and that was amazing. A lot of people say that they learn more in that office than they do in the program, and I got to say that is 100% correct. Giving back to another alcoholic is something that's led me to where I'm at today.
Yeah, and through that process, opportunities arose to actually work there. And you applied for those. What was the first one you did? I know you've moved up a couple times already.
Yeah. Fortunately, I have. I started out as transporting, as the SOS caseworker, just transporting on first shift. Kind of got lucky and fell into that, and that's just where I'm running guys over here to Four Rivers or to their doctor's appointments and things of that nature. And also, after that, Mr. Harris, Ian, that when he left, I got an opportunity to sit back with Ray back there and do the intakes, which that is
experience.
That's quite an experience in itself.
I need to have Ray on this podcast. I don't know
if
we could reel him in enough.
I doubt it,
but yeah, he was definitely a character that I enjoyed coming through there.
Yeah, one of a kind. Yeah. Truly one of a kind, man. And I figure if you offer him some lunch or something, he might.
Right. Really do it for free.
No.
Yeah. But and then I worked back there doing the intakes for quite a while, for about 4 or 5 months, and had the opportunity to join the management team, which what I do now is the SOS caseworker supervisor. So I supervise all the caseworkers that we have there.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I mean, I've loved seeing you come through there and come up. Like, I remember, and tell me if I'm wrong about this story, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this.
No, you're fine.
You can edit it. I mean,
yeah. Well, there was a story that I think I heard that when you guys were on IRF, and you got some words or something, or an opportunity for growth was handed to you, and you wadded it up and ate it.
Yeah, that is a true story. I knew I couldn't say anything back, so my first reaction was to eat the consequences, which I did, man.
I thought that was hilarious. And then it's an awesome story to hear, like, you come from that point where you're just trying to learn acceptance to deal with that situation, which nobody likes IRF, which is intense recovery focus for anybody who's listening to it doesn't know. But to where you are now, man, to giving back and help people.
Yeah, leaps and bounds, man. And that's just kind of what CenterPoint offers.
Yeah.
You come in as one person and you walk out that door totally different. So, and I'm forever grateful for that.
It's awesome, man. Dylan, what about you, man? I know you didn't go through CenterPoint. You went through the Discovery Place. We had Thomas on recently, who runs that place pretty much now.
Yep.
Tell us a little about your story.
So after many failed attempts at trying to get recovery, I landed on the steps down in Discovery Place in Dixon, Tennessee, and it's about 2.5 hours away from here. And I showed up thinking I'm getting away from Paducah, maybe getting a break from everything I've had, and trying to focus on myself. And I walk in, and he asked if I was my older sister's little brother. I'm like, here we go. So I thought I didn't escape like I thought I had, but luckily that place was a blessing to me. I had tried multiple times starting at the age of 18. It took me about 12 years after that to finally actually want something different. Yeah. And down there they got me off in the book, cut everything else out. Was willing to make some sacrifices in my personal life to stay down there. Ended up living a year down there in Dixon, Tennessee, working at that facility, learning how to have fun in recovery and work with a sponsor and do all the stuff that I need to do to stay sober.
Yeah.
And then, me working at CenterPoint is kind of a funny story too. When I was trying to find somewhere to go, I was at my mom's house, needing some help. I finally asked for help. And she started calling around, and I was not in the best state of mind, obviously, at that time. And she called out at CenterPoint, and there was nothing wrong that was said on the phone. I just took it personal that I'm in the same city and I couldn't get in there because there is such a long wait, and I didn't have the long time to wait like they were asking of me.
Yeah.
And so when I was ready to move back home, I wanted to still continue to work in recovery. And I actually applied for a caseworker job at CenterPoint. I came up here and interviewed, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into when they offered me the office clerk job. Not what I expected. They said you're going to be answering the phones, and I come in, and first off, it's mixed reactions because it's a brotherhood out there at CenterPoint.
You're an outsider.
I'm an outsider, yeah. Nobody knows what to think of me. Nobody knows my story, my journey that I've had. But at that point, I was able to sit down, get real close to everybody out there. But at the same time, I took that job as the office clerk answering the phone. So when other people's moms were calling in to try to find them somewhere to go, I was the one answering, and I knew that pain that my mom felt at that time.
Yeah.
And I was able to, if I couldn't help them out at CenterPoint, I was pointing them in another direction because I didn't want to get off the phone without them having something else to do. But it's weird how it all worked out, and now I'm the food and facilities manager out there. I've got my hand in pretty much everything. I've
Everything.
Too many things.
Yeah. My plate is full all the time, but I enjoyed it, and I love what I do now. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I've had.
We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. You want to know something? My biggest issue with meetings is, despite their name, they are never about me. Here at Turning Point, all of our meetings are for you and about you. We have meetings at least 3 times a day, 7 days a week. We are located at 415 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky. Call 270-444-3621 for more information.
That is really cool, man, that you were put in that position and be able to understand what people are feeling like when they're calling in, man. It was, and to have that extra passion that maybe, Matt probably doesn't have,
You're right.
I tried to teach them well up there. We're very sympathetic for people calling in. It's a moment of people at their lowest when you're talking to them up there.
It's a daily reminder of where I just was a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's a good reminder, and like Dylan said, he takes that personal. Where we have different outlets, we can send people to Turning Point, to other treatment centers. So it's like, no, it's a 6-month waiting list. Sorry, hang up. And it's turned into, well, let me get you a phone number to get you in contact with somebody that can help, and it's been passed down by Dylan. So it's turned into something bigger than just CenterPoint.
I mean, you guys can always send them to us, or we'll help them to find other treatment. Ian's getting people in treatment now since he's moved on from CenterPoint. There's options, and it does. It takes a village, because they say people are dying to get in there, and there is a long wait. Some people have to sit in jail a long time before they get there. But if you're on the street and you're looking for help right away, it's just hard to get into CenterPoint long-term treatment around here.
And if it was up to us, come on in. But it's unfortunately it's not up to us, and there's some guidelines we have to follow. But the CenterPoint pipeline runs deep. Like, you've got Ian, like you said, doing what he does. You've got you at Turning Point, Sam P. at Turning. Everybody from Blaine, it's endless what CenterPoint has done for this community and recovery. So.
Yeah. And it's such a strong recovery community in this town, which just continues to blow my mind. And it's just growing. I mean, there's been 5 or 6 sober living houses pop up just in the last month. So, and I love to see that, and I love to be involved in it because it solidifies my recovery. It encourages my recovery every day. Question I have is, though, that how long are you ever going to move up at CenterPoint, or are you just going to?
He's the prodigy.
Yeah. I like what I do. I know you are. I like what I do, and if there was a position to come open, who knows what would happen. But I like the way my life is, that I wake up and I don't hate coming to work. It's the first job ever that I've been of course, now we're really close. Obviously, we hang out after work, watch ball games, stuff like that. And so I'm coming to work with my friends, and it's never really been that way. Now, it's not always easy, and these guys will attest to that. We have our days where we're just I'm tired of seeing you. I don't want to go home.
Right.
But more days than not, I get up and it's I get to go to work and do something I enjoy. So
yeah. I mean, I'm messing with you, but that's literally what the program teaches. Stay in position, trust the process, all those things you get sick of hearing. And, when the time is right, something's going to happen for you. I know it will. It's just like it happened for you guys, just by being there and doing the next right thing and just being open and willing to what comes in front of you and putting forth the effort or the action to apply or being willing to do those things. I mean, it's going to happen, and like you said, you're doing a great job where you're at. You guys are all helping people there. I love to see it, So tell us a little about some of the things that CenterPoint has coming up soon.
So, as you've already spoke on, Christmas trees everywhere. Well, again, it wasn't our choice, but they have a big board meeting there, and our boss wanted it decorated, and it does look nice. The guys put a lot of time in. Dylan runs that end of the CenterPoint. The guys getting them together. It looks like Candyland down there. When I came back at night the other night, it's lit up. You got the guys. I'm sure they're sick of it already, but it's a special time. But it's also a crucial time in recovery. Connor just spoke on how he arrived at CenterPoint during Christmas. That's not really the time. You don't, we're not coming off a winning streak. So when you come in and it's just like holidays, and that's when you're supposed to be with your family. Some people don't have family. Some people, their family doesn't want to see them because it's been a rocky road the past 10 years of their life, like it was for me.
Yeah.
So it's a tough time at CenterPoint. There's a lot going on, which Dylan could tell you a whole lot more than I could about. But our main concern is the guys and that balance of recovery / gaining their family's trust back, seeing it's an important time in recovery, not just recovery, but everybody's life. So.
Yeah, I know that. Like I talked about earlier about me not liking Christmas and stuff. I didn't realize while I was in there, I didn't really think about the holidays or the family. And personally, I was like kind of glad to be away from that because it had always been, terrible anyway. Me just hiding and
Me too,
trying to feeling depressed about where I was in my life, broke. It wasn't until like the next year, or right around this time, or actually right around Halloween, after I got out of CenterPoint, which was going to be my first. The holiday seasons is long. Starts with Halloween and then Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and that first holiday, I was like, sober. I'm gonna have to deal with all these things. What's it gonna be like? Because I don't know if you're anything like me, but the holidays were just another excuse.
I hated them. I hated the holidays.
I hated them, but also I used them as an excuse to just use more, self-pity.
Hell, that's when you get all your money.
yeah, for sure. If you're slinging, yeah. But it got to what got me through it, somebody told me, because I was like, everybody I knew around here I was getting invited to Halloween parties, and everyone was just going to be people drinking and stuff. And, I didn't want to be around that. I wasn't strong enough spiritually to be around that at that point. But if someone said, well, what did you usually happen on your holidays? And I was like, well, I was usually ended up blacked out or arrested or in a fight or depressed, or this is just me personally, what my experiences were like. And I was like, yeah, they weren't really that fun anyway, or I thought they were, but they weren't that great of a time. And they said, well, why don't you try to do something to help someone else and these holidays? And that literally got me through that first year sober, dealing with all the holidays. Was just like, all right, it's not about me. I've already had my time and messed it up. Now I'm going to try and focus on what I can do to help other people who are struggling through this time, who are dealing with the same things that I dealt with at that time. And stayed out of my head about the whole thing and dove in, doing events at CenterPoint for people in recovery and trying to do outreach. And that got me through and continues to get me through those holidays. We do, our big Friendsgiving is coming up next week. We have food, and we feed everybody in recovery who don't have family here, who don't have a place to go for Thanksgiving, who, homeless people. We feed everybody who wants to come in, and it's such a great experience.
We'll be right back.
You never thought you'd be here. This was not in your plans. You knew it could always happen, but not you, right? If someone told you in the beginning that you'd live in a car, destroy your family, sleep on the street, flatline on a stretcher, or that all the bad company that handed you that first drink, smoke, pill, or needle would be nowhere to be found today, you would have said no way. But here you are, and addiction took everything. What now? Well, you weren't the only one. And it doesn't have to end here. You just have to reach out for help. There is a life on the other side of an addiction crisis. At CenterPoint Recovery Center, we're here with the resources you need to start that new beginning.
I know that at CenterPoint Christmas, the way they do it, even though, I got sick of the trees, like I talked about earlier, just that whole brotherly love thing that goes on in there is amazing, man. How was your experience there? I mean, you said that you came in right at that time. Were you in obviously you weren't probably happy to be there, or were you, because you were getting out of jail?
Yeah, and I say this a lot, man, that I couldn't have been happier than to walk up that sidewalk and see the people that I saw coming where I came from.
Yeah.
You know, Christian County Jail is the real deal. And at least for me, one day was too long. And after about 3 or 4 months in there, I realized that this is not the place for me. And the warmth and the, you know, the genuine love and care, almost like that comes from my family that I got there. Like, and my family means more to me than anything in the world. My mother is a saint. I had a great childhood, picture perfect. Father taught me everything I know. You know, big athlete. He's taught me everything a father can do for his son. And, you know, same with my mother. And all the times that I missed from home, I got it there. And my mother, I know she was so happy that I was in a place where she knew I was getting the same love and care that she would give me if I was home, because you don't get that in jail. You know, and I think we all know that. And, you know, just, you know, from what I've taken away from them, it wasn't just my Christmas and my Thanksgiving that was gone from me. You know, my family, it took from them too.
Yeah.
So when I was finally in a place where I could give back and could realize, like, look, you know, it wasn't just my Christmas, my Thanksgiving, it was my family's. Like, they couldn't enjoy their Thanksgiving, I wasn't there. You know, they couldn't enjoy Christmas, I wasn't there. But when I arrived at CenterPoint, they knew, like, you know, I can breathe now. They knew that I was in a place where, you know, the genuine love, care, and concern can circulate and you know, touch my heart. And it was a relief for me that I could give them relief, and so to speak. And I mean, I know you guys understand that it's not you know, it's a selfish program. I get that. But at the end of the day, man, I took a lot from my family. You know, stuff I can never get back. You know, time, trust, you know, things that are, you know, very important in family. But now, you know, that, and I said this earlier, and Dylan heard me say it in class, and it was, you know, our trouble are of our own making, you know, but your success is too. You know, it's what you got to lose and what you're going to put into it to come out on the other side. And that is something that CenterPoint instilled it into me. And that's something I try to live by every day. Really?
Yeah, that's what I always say. Like, CenterPoint will give you the tools, you know, and the thing that lacks is people applying it, you know, the action behind it. And when you get to that point of being ready to change your life and willing to do it, you come out of there ready to go. You know, it's all about, what are you going to do? Are you going to take the suggestions that were put in front of you? Are you going to stay away from negative influences? Are you going to deal with your problems in a certain way by reaching out and relying on your brothers? Or are you going to, you know, just forget everything and walk out the door and like you didn't learn nothing? And it takes what it takes. I was ready when I got there. You know, I was ready. I'd been out there for 30 years. So,
dang, you're old.
Yeah. Dylan. So he said you could tell us a little bit more about what's going on there.
Yeah.
You have your hands in everything. Give us the inside scoop.
He really does.
So, Halloween, we put the decorations up early October. November 1st, those decorations come down, and that same day, all the Christmas decorations are going up. It was about a 2 or 3 day affair this year of getting everything. We've got blow-ups outside. We've got hundreds of trees throughout the building. It's paying at the time, but, like, you can go out there, and we watch all the guys hanging the lights up and putting the trees up and put the ornaments up and wrapping some fake gifts up to put under the tree. And you see them, like, have a change of pace for once, because it can get kind of monotonous in there, and getting to get out and do something fun. It put a smile on my face to be able to sit there and do that. And then these next 2 months are very busy out there. We cater some meals for some apartments out in Mayfield, some people that need some help. So we're going out and cooking a holiday meal for them. We've got Thanksgiving coming up where for breakfast our alumni come out. They cook the pancakes.
I've done that the last couple of years. I always enjoy that, man. Go back in there, cook, serve to the guys, you know. I'm kind of disconnected from CenterPoint right now, to be honest, dude. I had a guy come down and get a phone the other day, and I had never seen him. He graduated. You know?
Well,
I've got sponsees.
Yeah.
I know I used to till I started working every Tuesday morning, and now I can't go to graduation. But I went to graduation every Tuesday for 2 years, and I miss it. You know, I miss it just being connected like that. So busy. We get busy once you're like working in recovery and you're doing this. especially down here, I'd still sponsor people at CenterPoint, but when I come up there, it's like to see them, and then I'm out. You know, I don't go hang out and eat or play cornhole like I used to, but I miss it, man.
Yeah, you can come out and eat with us sometime. I've got them eating good in there now. I'm putting some pounds on some guys in there, I can tell you that.
Well, that always happens. I'll be there for the alumni breakfast. You know, that's going to be a long day, though, because right after that, I come down here and serve food, Thanksgiving all day. But it's a blessing, man, to be able to do that, you know.
Yep.
It's a blessing.
So what who gives – I know last year an organization or a company – let the guys go get gifts for their children that maybe weren't able to afford gifts for their children. What is that?
Right. So we get with some of the clients if they've got young kids that they're in CenterPoint, they can't work. They're devoting their whole life to getting sober right now. Yeah. And money's tight for those people, and it's a strain on their family. It's a strain on the kids. So we work with some outside entities. Starfish is one of the main ones that we do.
Yeah.
We'll get a list of, guys that have kids, give them their age, kind of what all they want, and we work with them because we work with Starfish throughout the year, and they kind of pay us back on that through the holiday season by helping our guys out and getting all kinds of gifts for them. And then, like you said, when it comes to the clients, when it comes to Christmas time, we go all out. We get them a bunch of gifts. We get them some stockings, lighters, pens,
CenterPoint starter pack.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a giving season around there, and it's very busy, but it's very rewarding also.
Are you guys doing the door decorating this year?
We probably will. We haven't talked about it. I'm trying to get through Thanksgiving right now.
You got the trees out.
I know I've got the trees out, but Thanksgiving and then that following Monday is when I plan on attacking the Christmas plans hard. We've got some base stuff in place, but as far as what we do, that was a really good thing last year was the Christmas door decorating thing, and then we go around the day of the Christmas party. Our Christmas party's an all-day affair. We vote on it. Whoever has the best door, most creative, kind of like we did with Halloween costumes, they get gift cards and stuff to go out.
Yeah, I decorated my door when I was in there, and they gave everybody an award. I was kind of
one of those.
I was like, let's just see who really won. That's what I want, the competitive in me. But yeah, it's cool. It was fun doing that, man.
We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, did you know it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland because they get lonely? Here at Turning Point, we don't want you to ever be lonely either. That's why we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Always feel free to come hang with our friendly staff, and don't forget your guinea pig. We're located at 415 Broadway Street, downtown Paducah.
It's a special time. Like, I remember the guys, last Christmas I was a client at CenterPoint, and to see those guys able to take, some of them had 4, 5, 6, 7 gifts to take home to their kid.
Yeah.
And like that's a big deal to a parent. I don't have any children, but you could see those guys, a guy that hadn't said a word and has been there 3 months, was able to take those gifts. You could tell it choked him up.
Yeah.
I think that's so huge because we've burnt our family over and over and over. And so for Starfish to do that on CenterPoint to help out, I think that's one of the biggest things that we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw guys break down crying and stuff when I was in there. Being able to give their kids something, it is important. And hopefully instilled in them, like, I want to be able to do this on my own, things like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
There's seasonal depression. That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Well, when I was in there, we were watching the news one morning. Is that seasonal? What was it called? It's called, the acronym is SAD.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
I saw that on the news. I was like, that's hilarious. The seasonal affective disorders acronym is SAD. But it is.
Very fitting.
Yeah, it is very fitting, man. Sadly, the holidays are rough for people. there's more suicide during the holidays. It's just and with how everything's inflation right now, everything's more expensive. It's a hard time. But like you said, like the fact that they're in there trying to focus on themselves and better themselves, and to have something like Starfish and CenterPoint have their back and make their families still special is such a blessing, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's a testament to CenterPoint to what a difference a year can make. Last year, I was a client. I was just dreading it. I wanted to get through it. And now this year, like, I'm kind of excited to be able to give back a little to my parents and family who helped me out during that hard time. Like, I'm able to do that now because of not totally CenterPoint, recovery in general, doing the right thing. And I think that's the beautiful thing about CenterPoint. Most of the employees there came through the program. They gave an opportunity to stay and live there for free and peer mentor. And now the majority of our employees graduated from CenterPoint that are now making a living, for me personally, off the thing that I hated the most. I hated that I was an alcoholic. I hated that.
Yeah.
To this day, still hate it a little bit and was embarrassed of it. Now I work in recovery. It's crazy what can happen if you just do the right thing and take suggestions. My sponsor wasn't always the best, but I made it through. I had good people in the program with me to lean on and ask for their advice when you weren't there. But
yeah, well, I mean, that's what I told you to do. And once after 9, I dropped you anyway. So
yeah, I got my 9th step done, and he was like, "All right, well, good luck."
Yeah, fed you to the wolves.
Yeah, 10, 11, and 12 are maintenance steps, man. It's on you.
Great,
I
like that.
Yeah, he's like, peace out. He's like, I got 5 more guys to worry about.
That's the joke. But I mean, I was still there. I'm still there for my guys, but I give them a little speech like 10, 11, 12. The personal inventory, maintaining conscious contact, and giving back are all things that you have to. I can't hold your hand through those things. Yeah. I'm there for you. I support you. I'm here. If you're struggling with something, come talk to me. I'm always going to be here. I hope that we can become friends, lifelong friends through this process is what I always say. But, I can't hold your hand through actually applying it,
Well, I mean, look at your success rate.
I have a pretty good success rate.
Guys like Quay Klein.
Yeah. I
Joey
just saw him
Colson.
today. He stopped in here out of nowhere. It was good to see him. And, Joey.
Yeah.
Don't do that. We'll have to get him a bigger headset. We'll have to get him a bigger headset.
I don't know if we have enough paper to write on this down.
No, but really, that's Joey. So, that's amazing. That is a miracle in itself.
It is. It is. And he continues to surprise me, man. Like, he actually has a passion for this. Like,
he does.
He goes and sits down, does a one-on-one. We're used to the Joey that you guys went through with,
chaos.
And that he just chaos, cutting up, lick everything. That's Joey. But when he sits down and talks to somebody about recovery, man, he really digs in and he's applying the stuff and he's giving back, and I love seeing that, man. Because
amazing.
We don't have to change everything about ourselves. I like keeping some of my personality, being a little of a smart ass, like I still try to, I try to work on that. I say it all the time on here so people won't believe me, but, I do. It used to be way worse, let me put it that way. But, yeah, see the change and then still be able to be ourselves and actually return to who we are. Learning to love who we are and enjoy it, and then make smarter decisions.
Yeah, a prime example is sitting back and let things happen for you. Because left upon my own devices, I didn't make very many good decisions.
Right.
I got a losing record. Yeah.
I mean, really, a losing record is an understatement. And I'm a real competitive guy. And to be a loser in aspects of life that make or break you is devastating. But being able to sit back and let things happen for you, is what CenterPoint does.
Right.
It's what it did for me. And it's given me things that I never thought that I could achieve. And speaking of children, I'll have a child this Christmas. Yeah. So, it's truly a blessing just being able to sit back and receive, all the blessings and all the things that come with doing the next right thing, which comes with recovery.
Yeah. And you're blessed that, your child's never going to have to have known the old
Correct.
you yet, man.
Correct.
You're going to be able to do it right. And that is awesome. You have any kids, Dylan?
I don't. That's probably for the best. That
got Bluey.
have how I live my life. I've got a dog that is very attached to me.
Yeah.
But I did not make the best life decisions up until I got sober this time, and it's probably for the best that I don't have any children running around for their sake.
Yeah.
Bluey's enough to handle.
He is.
He's a character.
What kind of dog is it?
He's an Australian Heeler Pit Bull mix. I got him. So at CenterPoint, we send our guys out twice a week to the Humane Society to walk dogs.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking around for a dog, and I went out to the Humane Society with him one time. It was nice out, and I'd seen him on their website when I was scrolling, and I was like, he looks good. And then I went out there and saw him, and 4 hours later, he was at my house.
Yeah,
so I went and got my money right and got some stuff for him to take home, got him a bed and some food, and took him home, and he's been with me ever since.
Yeah, he's one of the boys for sure. Like he participates in all football activities.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the kid.
When we grill steaks on the weekend, we cook 4, and he gets one of them.
Correct.
Let's get that right for the record. We don't cook 4.
Yeah.
Hammer cooks 4.
Yeah.
He's dangerous on a smoker, grill,
Man, that
anything.
is nice. Yes.
Yeah.
He's nice.
So
Yeah, when I first moved out of phase 3 and was in my own place, actually the first time I'd ever lived alone, I got a dog, named him Courage, and he's been my kid's 20, getting ready to turn 22, my son, and he had to watch me go through everything I went through, which sadly, the only good thing that came out of that was that he didn't want to be anything like me, and stayed on the straight and narrow. Very unprofessional.
you have to edit that. Yeah.
But with Courage, he's just a rambunctious, jumps on you.
Yeah.
You won't listen to nothing. And I look at it like, God, I deserve this, because of who I used to be. Because I had 2 options. There were 2 puppies. I could have chosen one. I chose the one that was, a little more rowdy, and I don't regret it. But he's a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, man, I appreciate you guys coming on today. CenterPoint definitely was a part of changing a lot of our lives and being able to give back and help people. And I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for them, and always try to, even though I feel kind of disconnected right now, I'll always be connected to that place. And like I said, I'll be there for the alumni breakfast. But, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and anybody that's watching that wants to help out with anything we do over the holidays at CenterPoint, just come give us a call or stop by and see us. So
yeah, and you guys accept donations, clothes
Absolutely.
donations, things like that.
people have already started. I mean, it's amazing what the community has done, whether it's dropping off clothes, dropping off toboggans, coats. It's crazy what we do for the guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, well, check us out on YouTube or listen to our audio versions on Apple, Google, Spotify, Podbean, or Amazon Music. And as always, stay grateful.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or in recovery and needs guidance, speak with Turning Point's team of peer support specialists by calling 270-444-3621. You are not alone, and we are proof that recovery is possible.